Do you have laundry to do?
No, I kind of just leave my clean clothes kind of nice on the floor right now to the big pile of clean clothes.
Do you not fold your clothes?
I do, but also sometimes I'm just like, dude, I'm too tired, so I just like kind of keep them nice, put them on the floor, and then just start taking them from the clean pile.
So what's your ratio? Like let's say in a month, you do how
Yeah,
many loads of laundry are you doing?
probably four loads of laundry
And
once
how
a
many of
week.
them are you folding?
I'd say I'm folding 50% of those clothes.
So you got a 1 to 2. Or is that a 2 to 1?
It'd be 1 to 1, 1 to 1
1 to 1.
ratio.
It would be a 1 to 1 ratio. Yeah.
Yeah,
Geez, that was
yikes.
tough. That's a
Good thing
tough
this
inch. Well, actually, I mean,
good thing this isn't a math podcast.
I'd say I'm 3. It's not a podcast. So this is actually a YouTube show,
Good
and
thing
it's
it's not
episode
a math vlog.
7.
Number 7.
Number 7. Lucky number. Lucky number 7, OGV. Pretty good. Pretty good start. Pretty good debut.
Hey, I'm back. I didn't know if I was going to be back, but I guess if you're
Yeah,
having me, I had to have done well enough.
I am having you. I am having you. I didn't put out any word. I don't know. I'm sure, my messages would have been swimming with people trying to take your place, but I didn't put it out there just out of respect, respect.
I appreciate that, but good to know that I'm replaceable.
Yeah, I mean, that's the mentality you have to have at all. I
Got
could
to
be
be.
replaceable. I don't know what would happen to the name or any of that matter, but I could be replaceable. Really good week. Really good week. Kind of an underwhelming Masters, but we still have a lot to talk about.
Definitely.
At first, we'll get to MLB and then Godzilla vs. Kong. Did you watch that movie?
Yeah, so I was kind of wondering when I saw that on your list of notes, like, are we literally
Yeah.
talking about Godzilla versus Kong, or is it just because it's been coming up in commercials or a lot,
Well,
or
did you watch the movie on HBO Max or go to
no?
the theater?
I didn't. Did you watch it?
I did. I watched it over the weekend. I brought this up because it is my show, and I'm a huge Godzilla guy. I watched all the old ones when I was younger. Godzilla vs. Kong, Mega Godzilla, who's in this one. There's that 3-headed dragon, and then there's a bunch of monsters. The moth, the big moth. Um, but I really love Godzilla, and this movie was very, very entertaining. How familiar are you with the nuclear lizard?
Yeah, I'm pretty unfamiliar with the entire series or just multiple movies. I don't really know if
So
it's a
you've never
series.
seen any sort of Godzilla
No,
movie?
my
Nothing.
assumption here is that Godzilla always wins. Is that true?
So in the old one, he actually, I think, gets his ass kicked by King Kong. I think the movie ends with Godzilla kind of retreating. So I think that was a sign that King Kong was the victor. But I was also like 6 years old, so
Got
I'm
it.
not too sure, and I have not watched the 1960 version in a while,
Right, right. Me
maybe
neither.
since that day. So this one, though, spoiler alert, yeah, Godzilla wins, but he doesn't kill him. It's like kind of it's a mutual respect thing. So King Kong, all right, we'll get right into it. King Kong is he's undersized compared to Godzilla. He Godzilla has the severe height advantage. He also has can spit fire and shit like that. Godzilla or King Kong is just a gigantic gorilla, just a
Right.
huge,
Now, are they
huge
both just
gorilla.
like lab created creatures, or is King Kong just out there and they found him and now they're using him as a weapon of war?
So we could talk for an hour about this. Long story short, Godzilla is the product of nuclear waste. Uh, Nuclear waste is that?
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So nuclear waste is basically this big lizard that now has powers, and King Kong is. I don't really know King Kong's origin story. In this one, he's from Hollow Earth, but that's another whole show that we could get into. There's like 3 shows of Godzilla.
So can you segue this at some point into
Baseball?
baseball itself? That's your challenge here.
Probably not. It's probably just going to be a pause and then we'll get into it. But
All right.
anyway, these are 2 historic fighters that these guys got big fan bases. I went to go see the premiere with Blake. Um, when the first Godzilla came out when we were in college. You know, this is big shit here. Godzilla, it should beat the hell out of King Kong, but King Kong has this fire about him. And in the very first scene, he just comes up and clocks Godzilla just with a right hook and knocks him down. It was like it's as if this underdog was facing the champion and just knocked him straight down in the first round. That's when you knew Godzilla. He kind of just turns it on after that. And he's like, you know, fuck this, fuck the challenger. I'm pretty much going to absolutely dismantle everything and everything. But that being said, it's a great fight. And the fact that King Kong is undersized, doesn't have the powers that Godzilla has, and just gets in his grill, I would really highly recommend you watching it. You should really watch Godzilla.
Yeah, I think after everything you said, I'm gonna definitely have to check it out. But yeah, other than that, I
You
don't
don't
have much
have
to add.
anything to provide. So like even
Literally,
if Godzilla, so when you saw the notes, you were like, you didn't think of saying like, hey, I don't even know anything about Godzilla.
I just thought like maybe you were bringing it up because the commercial is just constantly on, and you just wanted me to like talk about if you think it's are they spending too much money on marketing?
The economics of Godzilla.
Is this gonna be a profitable movie?
Yeah,
And
that's actually not a bad. I think they did a great job. Like how else are you going to get things out nowadays?
Yeah, I guess if you're gonna drop movies on HBO Max,
On HBO Max, you got to pay the advertise. That's whatever money you're making. How do they make money? That's a whole other. See, look what you did. You brought up the economics of.
Well, dude, you're asking me what
movies.
I thought when you sent the notes in there, and I was kind of like, is this some sort of metaphor for a sports thing we're getting into, or are we going to talk about the?
Well, it is kind of like a fight.
I didn't realize you were literally wanting to talk about a movie review, which honestly, the movie looks a little ridiculous to me. I get that you love it, but it looks a little ridiculous. So anyway, that's where I'm at.
How about this? The notes here that I wrote. Did you read this? Godzilla in today's world.
Fight recap: Godzilla in today's world. I mean, was the movie not placed in today's world?
Well, it is, but it's not. It's a fictional story. It's not nonfiction. Godzilla never existed.
Right. So am I supposed to, think that we could somehow destroy a ginormous nuclear lizard, or how?
Well, that would just. I mean, my biggest thing is that would just suck. Like that would. You would have to devote. You want to talk about economics? You'd have to devote so much of your resources to infrastructure to cover your ass when Godzilla tries to take a morning walk.
Oh yeah, if he just
stomps through the city.
Yeah, if he just plops into New York City, I mean, you're gonna have a bad couple of years, to be honest, trying to rebuild that thing.
Yeah, and it's constant. It would be like a cycle.
He just plops up, and you just hope it's like on a random beach in Georgia and not like in the middle of a big city.
He just goes Arizona. He's just in the desert.
Right. He comes out from the ocean that's bordering Arizona and walks into Arizona.
Well, he goes like inland. So like we're thinking like San Diego, and then he takes, I-10.
Right. I don't think you're going to have much to worry about if there's a real Godzilla. I think you'll be fine in Arizona.
Yeah. Last thing, if he did decide that he wanted to defecate, that would be another big problem.
Do you think he's like shy? Like you think he tries to find some privacy, or you think he just drops it wherever he's doing it?
I don't know.
Also, is it a he?
That's another thing. I think it's a genderless lizard. So
yeah, that would make sense.
Well, whoever created Godzilla, in the 40s was ahead of his time.
Totally.
Yeah. Anyway, baseball.
That's our segment on Godzilla versus King Kong.
That was Godzilla versus Kong. Lex knew absolutely nothing, and I had to teach him it, and however long that took. Acuna.
Awesome. He's awesome.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet that someone thinks that he's playing on Mike Trout level, and to be honest, I got to agree. He's playing all around awesome baseball. Super exciting to watch.
Every time he gets on base, he scores.
Right.
It seemed like it in the playoffs. Every time I watched him, the dude looks like the fastest man alive. every time he runs. He just goes first to third. He scored first to home on a ball last year. And this isn't even talking about the fact that he can hit the ball 450 feet the opposite field.
I think it's been pretty epic. We've had 2 podcasts in the previous Sunday night baseball game before those highlighted the players we wanted to talk about pretty well. I know people have been talking about it all week, but for Acuna to beat out a 105 mile per hour ground ball to the shortstop, that was fielded, great. And then to hit a bomb to dead center field later that game kind of sums up what type of player Ronald Acuna Jr. is.
Do you think he's going to, I've talked about this before. Do you think he's going to flip the junior tag soon? He's just going to be Ronald Acuna? Or do you think he'll always be Ronald Acuna Jr.? Because some guys, Griffey, he was always junior. But there's some juniors out there that have, definitely been able to flip that tag.
Yeah, I mean, it probably helps that I don't know of a Ronald Acuna that played in the major leagues before, so he could probably be the first Ronald Acuna in the major leagues. But I mean, he could probably also be a junior, just a straight up junior, kind of take that tag from Griffey. I don't know, but
there hasn't been a good junior there hasn't been like a junior since junior.
Can you think of anyone that's been, close, or even a junior that's been super far away from that?
I'm thinking Jackie Bradley Jr.
Yeah,
and that's not even
definitely
close.
not going to take that one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of juniors that I'm not thinking of, but either way, he's looking like the best junior right now on the planet Earth.
Completely agree.
Love that. And also Trout's off to a really ridiculously hot start. And he's actually tonight he went 0 for 4 with 4 Ks. But he's off to a great start. Do you think the Angels are going to make the playoffs?
I sure hope so. They always have it sure seems like they have the talent to every year, and it just never pans out. They can't all stay healthy throughout the season, but I mean, they've got 3 MVPs on their team. Obviously, Pujols is, a past MVP. Trout's a current MVP. Ohtani's a future MVP. But, I think the talent level's there.
Rendon could be an MVP.
Dude, I didn't even think about Rendon. I mean,
yeah.
So the pieces are there. I certainly would like to see them in the playoffs, but dude, they're gonna have to prove it. They're gonna have to prove it. That's all I gotta say. It's a tough division.
Yeah, David Fletcher is really good. He could win an MVP too. So you're talking about 6 or 7 MVPs in the lineup. That's great.
Didn't they just sign David Fletcher to like a 5-year deal?
I'm pretty sure. I love watching him play.
I always wonder.
He's great.
I mean, he's like the modern day Eckstein, just gets done what you need to be done. But I always wonder if, like, is there not a better option out there?
I mean, he puts bat to ball. He's solid. He's just one of those players. He doesn't look like he's a stud.
No,
but he is because his uniform. He just kind of looks a little awkward, but he's a really good baseball player.
I guess he gets done what they need him to get done, so that the big boys can come up and drive him in and play.
I think you're just mad because he doesn't wear 3 chains and he's not flashy. I think that's your own prejudices.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say mad, but yeah, I certainly would like to see like another Ronald Acuna Jr. at second base for the Angels. That'd be sick.
Yeah, you were a real swag daddy when you played.
Yeah, we had some really quality pants that allowed me to be an absolute swagger hound.
No one on our team was capable of looking cool.
No, balloon pants that just dropped down to mid chin every time you tried to take a step.
They looked like pants that you would wear in like a Middle Eastern country. They looked, or like some sort of Eastern Asia look.
Yeah, like when you go to Thailand and come back with those like sweatpants with the elephants on them.
Yeah,
that style of baggy sweatpants.
Yeah, which I really like. I enjoy that.
In terms of
That's
comfortability?
In terms of baseball, like I would not want to wear those for baseball.
Oh, hell no.
But like, no, I like the look in general.
Yeah, if I'm coming home from a 4-week sabbatical to Thailand and I'm wearing a tank top and flip-flops.
Would be fun.
Okay.
Last thing, Bauer's balls. Did you hear about that?
Yes, I'm actually not that familiar with that topic. You might have to tune me in on this one.
So I guess MLB investigates. This is what I'm trying to figure out, and I think it's just going to be a nothing burger. it was just funny that it's Bauer and he fired back on Twitter. But apparently they check out the balls that you're going to use, and Bauer's balls were red flagged for, something fishy going on with them.
So this is
And
pre-game. The balls were possibly doctored.
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I didn't come in that prepared. I thought you would know.
I just
But
thought this was more about the whole spin rate thing where he's always talking about the spin rate, and all of a
well, it
sudden
could have been it
his
could have been after a game maybe, where
yeah,
they're like, maybe we should check these out. But I don't know. I'm not sure if at what point it was. All I know is that MLB hired their own ball investigator
nice.
to examine them. Um, I don't know if he's going to feel them, but I mean, probably more than likely, because you got
I
to
get
check and see if there's something going on there.
Yeah, you always want to make sure you're checking those consistently. I guess my take on Bauer is that if he's going to be the guy that's going to be so outspoken about what guys are doing wrong and what Major League Baseball is doing wrong, you got to be perfect, right? You can't be the guy that's all of a sudden doctoring baseballs or, cheating, or if you have a shitty game, all of a sudden you're just, not the same guy. That's my take on Bauer. And so far he's done a pretty good job of it, but I mean, if he's going to be that guy, he's going to have to be that guy 100% of the time. So
I don't know if he's guilty or he came out and said that MLB does this all the time and investigates certain pitchers' balls, but I don't really think that will be any story unless. I mean, it might be, but since we haven't heard anything about it, I don't think it's going to be a big story. It's just pretty funny. He got called into the news because it's Bauer, and he, of course, was going to respond.
yeah, and watch them check his balls like after every start this year, just because he's constantly tweeting at MLB at how they're doing such a bad job. Kind of like how if you have a good game in the NFL, you just immediately get drug tested. Watch him
Yeah,
watch him get his balls checked after every game.
he gets sabotaged. Yeah, they're trying to make his life hell. That's actually a good point. Manfred just sticking it to him. Shut the
Hey,
fuck up, Trevor. That's what
seriously,
he's saying. I'm not saying that.
I mean that's for sure what he wants him to do.
Yeah, Manfred. All right. Great week. Great week leading up. Kind of an underwhelming little teaser of a finish, I would say, to the Masters.
Yeah, agree.
We thought we were maybe going to get some fireworks and some guys, making big mistakes, which we did, but it just was kind of an anticlimactic finish.
Totally.
But that being said, Matsuyama was like one of those guys, like a Gary Woodland, where he's better than Gary Woodland when he was younger. Like he won the amateur. He was like the low amateur at the amateur Masters a decade ago. And he was one of those guys that's like always, he's just won tournaments here and there. And you had the feeling he was eventually going to get a major, like at some point, but
Right.
it was kind of out of nowhere. Like I didn't, all the stuff that I read, and not really anyone picked Matsuyama.
I didn't realize that Hideki Matsuyama is 29. I feel like I've been watching Matsuyama play on the PGA Tour for years, which I guess is true because he's been playing since he was like 18 or 19. So I was pleasantly surprised that he's 29 and probably has a lot of golf left to go and is probably going to continue to get better. I think we kind of talked about last week how your approach shots on the green were going to be key, and they kind of were with how fast the greens were rolling. And I forgot the stat. I texted it to you, but he's top 10 in strokes gained on approach shots. It was something like that. And I was like, that makes total sense why he had such a good week, to kind of break it down or to pin it on one stat. But it made sense once I kind of put that all together.
Yeah, a lot of that was scrambling. Like I think
Yeah.
he scrambled the most, and he was the best in the tournament by far, scrambling. And that comes down to it. A lot of those scramble shots are approach shots. So
Right.
good for him. It just he doesn't. I guess he showed a lot of charisma at the end, but he's never been, the guy with a lot of flair. He was not a lot of people knew a lot about him. Like he's always just been the guy with the pause in his swing, and then he explodes.
Right.
But that's really what I know. I like his swing because he's got that pause in it, and he kind of mashes the ball.
Totally.
But there was really not a whole lot, but I do love that he's a baseball guy. He said he was just fans of all the Japanese baseball players, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was kind of waiting to see, when it was clear that Hideki was going to win the tournament, what his celebration or reaction was going to be once he wins it. Because even if you're up by 5 strokes, guys are still fist pumping, crying, hugging their loved ones, and he was kind of just like
Bow,
business.
he bowed.
He
Him and
bowed,
his cat. I love
business
that.
as usual, just kind of like shaking hands. And I don't know if he had family there, but I mean, I think it was him, his coach, his caddy, and maybe one other guy that I saw in the like main like champion picture. And I was like, he just felt like another guy, which
Yeah.
kind of seeing all that stuff about him at the airport the next day, just walking through Atlanta airport carrying his Masters jacket over his shoulder is just like totally is on point with that as well.
Yeah, I think that kind of capped off the whole narrative. He's just kind of like, he expected to win this. And as huge as it is for Japan, like he was always the guy that was going to be, I guess, the prodigy from there that was going to win a green jacket. So I thought it was really cool. And he definitely deserved a win. Our boy X-Man, Xander, he had the really golden opportunity, Redbud, hole 16.
We talked about it.
Redbud got to him, man. He tried to get it towards the pin. You called it was it the back right pin?
So it was so if you're facing the hole, it was back left. So you want to
Back
land
left,
it
yeah.
back right and let it just funnel into that hole.
Yep.
He obviously landed even left of that and it rolled into the water.
Yeah, that was just a mishit.
Yeah,
which
I don't know.
is crazy that that's his mishit, and then our mishits are, 30 feet that way.
Oh yeah, I could easily be on the other side of that water and then chipping over that water to get back.
Yeah, exactly. Or just chunk one, like not even to the water.
Yeah, but I love that he came out and said that he doesn't regret the shot and he played the shot that he wanted to play, and he just didn't really factor in the wind. But I mean, he was going for it, right? And it kind of he lost strokes and lost a lot of money doing that, if that's how you want to look at it. But he was going for the win, which I love.
Yeah, I don't really give him much shit at all. That round was a complete roller coaster for him.
All over the place.
He started out hot, and then he got super cold, then he got hot again, and then he kind of fell off towards the end. So that was a grind of a round. Like if you ever I'm sure, I don't know what it feels like to play on the tour, but I'm assuming in a Masters, when your swing isn't feeling right on Sunday at the Masters and you have a chance to take the lead, that's got to be so fucking frustrating. And to keep your composure, I give the guy credit. Shit.
For sure. I think he just happened so fast. I mean, Hideki hit that ball into the water on 15, opened the door a little bit, and he just went for it, right? It's kind of what you got to do, and it just crumbled right in front of them almost immediately, which is kind of where the excitement kind of fell off for me in terms of those last 3 holes, which I were thinking might be super exciting.
Bro, I thought we were about to get some fireworks.
I haven't seen a playoff hole in golf in a while. Maybe it's because I just don't watch enough tournaments, but I feel like I just haven't seen a playoff at a major or in any notable tournament at all recently.
Yeah, there was the Morikawa Thomas one where Morikawa beat him.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know what tournament that was at, but that was
neither.
after the restart. That was pretty good. But
Yep.
yeah, I would have loved to have seen a playoff with Xander or our guy, the Zally baby,
Zally baby.
the Zalamander. Remember the Zalamo?
Zally time.
Zally time. What's the best nickname? Is he here to stay? He's technically not even, he doesn't have his card officially yet. So he's number 1 on the Corn Ferry Tour right now.
Is that technically what he is? Because he's not an amateur, but I saw that he got 0 FedEx Cup points for getting second place at the Masters, so he's obviously not on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, he's not on the PGA Tour, and he's on the Corn Ferry Tour.
Well, does this not just automatically qualify you for the PGA Tour?
I don't know how it can't. I really don't know how it cannot.
Yeah. I got to be honest. I mean, there's probably more golfers out there that are talented enough to play on tour than there are spots on tour. For him to come out and play on that stage and hold his composure and actually put together good rounds. Was he the only guy that had all 4 rounds under par, or is that someone else?
I'm
look at that real quick.
Spieth. Yeah, look that up. Spieth might
Yes,
have gone even one round. Yeah, you might be right.
all 4 rounds under par. So the only guy to do that through 4 days, even with the pressure of like possibly winning. I mean, how does that not like he's here to stay? Like that's the biggest stage in your first main tournament. He's here to stay in my opinion.
He's also been playing in a bunch of PGA tournaments, and he's been playing well. He has a few top 20s.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about him. I couldn't have told you that.
Yeah, the Wake Forest kid, born in San Francisco actually, but he grew up
Oh,
in Texas.
is he the biggest name out of Wake Forest at this moment? Maybe not in this moment,
Chris
but like,
Paul,
yeah, that's up there.
Tim Duncan,
Tim Duncan's retired. I think it's got to be probably Chris Paul and Zally.
Chris Paul and Zalatoris,
Yeah,
the Wake Forest legends.
yeah. Look out for that
He
picture on
he
Twitter.
missed a putt too, a par putt on it was like hole 12 or something like that. A par putt on hole 12 or 13, and
Yeah,
got him. He bogeyed the hole, and that
yep,
one
I remember that.
stroke. Yeah, that one stroke. It's the little things, man, that just bites you in the ass.
I mean, it's cliche, but literally every
It
stroke matters.
counts.
Going all the way down. I mean, you even saw it.
He's
He's
gonna
up.
look. I bet he's looking back on that. He's like, "That's shit."
Yeah, I mean, but you got to know those are going to happen at some point during your round. You just hope they don't happen when you're in contention on Sunday. But I mean, he knew that too. I mean, when he was in, they showed him hitting drivers after his round was over. Like he's got no more golf left to play, but he knows that, the closest, you're only 2 shots out of the lead, and that's not safe at all. So I like that about him as well.
You love that he was getting that work in. He could have just been doing his post round
My initial reaction
session.
was that he's literally just going to hit balls like any normal day, and then I was like, oh yeah, he's also just 2 shots away from the lead in case there's a playoff. So
Um, Spieth played really well. He just didn't putt good enough on Saturday.
yeah,
But he was hitting greens all day. His chipping was really great. Didn't was still kind of the same with the driver, a little up and down with it, but I mean that's another top 5 for him. He's
it's
playing phenomenal golf.
yeah, it's consistent with how he's played. I think it's a good showing for him. I mean, you can't, even if you won the last tournament, even if you've been great, you can't just expect to walk in there and win the Masters. So a third place finish is great for him. Do you like the?
Who's
Can I
Go
ask
ahead.
you? Do you like all his chatter, all the talk he does to his golf ball while it's in the air, or do you find that annoying?
I love it.
I like it too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just he's being himself, and it's kind of funny.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it really is funny, and I think he's being like really genuine about it. Like he's
And I,
actually truly believes that that ball is going to get down because he tells it to.
yeah, at first I thought when he's talking to his ball, it's like, oh man, he hit a bad shot, but he just actually is being super, super picky with the shots. And I think Max Homa tweeted, he's like, if Jordan Spieth hits one and doesn't say anything, you better expect that ball to hit the pin or go in the hole, which actually has been, pretty spot on. He gets it close if you pay attention when he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, and when he does say something, it's still a really good shot a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of the time. So I really like the way he played. Is he top 6 in the Ryder Cup standings? That's the top 6 players, right? He's got to be, even if
I
he's
don't know,
not. That's got to
but
be the captain's pick. Like he has to be in it.
I mean, like I said last week, he's proven that when he's hot throughout his career. So I don't see how you couldn't pick him, regardless if he's top 6 or not.
Yeah, Bryson. We didn't talk about his press conference that he had before the tournament where he talked about his oxygen
Oh, I
last
did.
year.
Oh, okay. I'm not remembering this.
Yeah, so he talked about his oxygen last year not being good enough.
What is like
And
in his blood or like in Augusta or
he just said he was having trouble breathing, so he went to a lab and like got a bunch of tests and his oxygen levels were low. He just said his oxygen levels were low. So that's what he chalked it up to last time, why he didn't play well. He said this time his oxygen levels were fine. I think, I don't know, I haven't heard anything since the end, but all I heard was pre-show. He did a lot about his oxygen going into this year. He did not play very well at all.
so he finished +5, but we're never going to forget that he called Augusta a par 67. So technically, in his own mind, he finished 25 shots over par this weekend, which is horrible. And you know what? That's the level I'm going to hold him to if he's going to call Augusta par 67. So he's going to have to live up to that one day.
Is he just not playing it smart at all? Because he's a pretty good iron player. He
So
could easily go 2-iron off the tee and set himself up for a short, pitch shot.
here's my thing. He leads in distance. He's one of the best putters on tour, but his wedge game is not great. And for a weekend when you need to be landing the ball in very precise locations to keep it on the green and then to also get it close to the pin, like maybe that's not your game. Like maybe you need to be a little bit more precise with your, with your tee shots, which he wasn't. So
That's what I'm saying. He was just trying to go driver the whole time, daddy dong dick, and he was and was spraying the ball all over the place.
I get it. Like he's sticking to his plan, not deviating from just trying to destroy the ball and go from there. But I'd like to see him play multiple styles of golf. Like he has that in the bag, but he doesn't always have to play like that. And I think to win the Masters, you have to play a little differently. I mean, even Nick Faldo kind of talked about it all weekend. He's like, this course is all about distance control, and Bryson is not showing any of that. And
Yeah.
I gotta agree. So I'd like to see him have that in his bag that he can hit the ball 360, but I'd like him to show that he's a smart golfer too. And right now he doesn't seem like a smart golfer, but I don't know. That's coming from me who sucks at golf and doesn't know what I'm doing. So I feel
Yeah, but
comfortable
we're
saying that.
paid to talk about it.
That's true. That is true.
I completely agree. I don't know why he doesn't just. He probably could go driver like 2 holes if it's not working.
Like, dude, just like if you want to pound it, but just pound it with a 3-iron, right? You're going to be in the
He
fairway.
could hit a 3-iron more than most of these guys' drivers.
Right, and he's probably a lot more accurate with that. So I'm like, dude, that seems like maybe the play. I don't know. So he was my biggest disappointment of the weekend.
I think that was both of ours. Like that's why I was like, I don't even know if we have to talk about that. I'm not saying he's never going to win a Masters, but it's like, bro, if you're getting fucking beat with a fastball constantly, let's make an adjustment. Something like, how about make an adjustment one time?
I mean, it's clear they keep talking about how are they going to, level the playing field in golf, and they keep talking golf ball. They keep talking, size of the course, equipment, stuff like that. Well, Augusta just went ahead and said, all right, we're going to make these greens as hard as they can possibly be. And it screwed with them, right? So he's got to be able to play like that if that's what these courses are going to all of a sudden start doing.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy the whole shit about these courses being too short. They could easily find ways to. You can lengthen them a little bit. You could easily find ways to make them harder. Exhibit A,
like
make the greens firmer.
And like you said last week, just go ahead if you have the ability to just go ahead and plant trees wherever you see fit.
So I was actually doing some digging on that. And Augusta, so they showed a house like by Augusta. I was like, what the hell is that? It's in like a neighborhood, and Augusta National has bought up all the property around it. So that's really how they've expanded. They just started buying up all these houses. And I guess there's one house that just refuses to sell.
I love that.
There's just one house, and they've offered millions of dollars for it. They don't want to sell it.
That's awesome.
So that's just
interesting.
Them.
So one day in like 30 years, there will just be a house.
Just one house.
In the middle,
have to build
in the middle of the course.
In the middle of the course, yeah. I mean, on hole 8, just go right over the house.
They just have to put nets in a 360 around their house.
Kids like jumping on the trampoline during the Masters.
That'd be hilarious. Just a group of people tanning or barbecuing in the backyard while the Masters are going on.
Just a family get together.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I guess the one other thing I want to say just about the landscape is noticeable difference for me in just visually watching the Masters in November versus April.
Oh yeah.
I mean, everything like beautiful, bloomed. You can see all the flowers and trees that, the holes are named after. No mud, like I talked about last week, there's no mud. So, I mean, I get why they do it in April. That was just the one other thing I wanted to say.
It was, you could truly see too. This was, I guess, for how many years of watching golf, I guess I watch the Masters every year.
Right.
But it truly is like a links course. It is so. I don't know how Brooks walked that with his torn knee, because that would be fucking miserable walking up all those hills.
Yeah, I guess I just have to agree with you on that.
It's super super hilly.
Yeah,
That's just one thing. I like that they had the Megalodon camera too, that they used for the NFL.
yeah.
Those
The
close-ups, that weird camera angles, really really rad.
there was also one camera angle this weekend where they like it came on one side of like a hedge or something, and then the camera went over the hedge and then viewed the players teeing off from behind. And I was kind of like, this sure feels like Skycam. And I don't know if there was a Skycam out there. I'm not sure how they would get a Skycam, but yeah, definitely some good shots and some good footage from this weekend.
I mean, give me all the camera angles for golf. Like, give me the sky cam, give me the back cam, give me the side cam, give me whatever camera possible to make it look as beautiful as Augusta looked this weekend.
Yeah, that portrait mode cam that they use for guys when they score touchdowns. I like that one too.
Oh, I like that one a lot. That would be cool if you just started seeing visual effects. Like there was just
like the Nick Jr. playoff game.
yeah, exactly.
The slime zone, just when the ball
Like,
goes in the hole.
like two angels coming down or something like that after a touchdown. That would be that's the future. That really is. Or you have like a hologram. So you get to, and like there's like a Mac Dre hologram, and like Thizzle Dance comes on, and like the whole O line is doing the Thizzle Dance.
Are we talking about football here? Or are we talking about the Masters
Well,
cam?
well, we could talk about that
I,
for golf as well.
yeah, I see
Like
that
the
happening a
Masters
little more
comes
in the
down,
NFL.
and there's just holograms of Jack Nicklaus, Arnie,
Yeah,
like congratulating you after the Masters.
that'd be super inspiring.
Yeah, that would be all the greats, all the great golfers. Matt Wolf, DQ'd.
Yeah, that was one of the guys I picked in fantasy. I was like,
Really?
yeah. So he just like made the cut and then just DQ'd, and I'm just like, okay, I guess it's one guy I can't choose from.
Is he just super bad at math?
Why is he even keeping his own score? Why is his caddy not doing
Yeah, I know. That's
it?
what I was. Well, maybe it was his caddy, but maybe they just said Matt Wolf because him and his caddy both represent Matt Wolf.
Yeah, I don't know. That one was kind of a little disappointing. I don't know if our viewers or listeners care about it, but Matt Wolf has the ability to go off and have a good round because of how far he can drive the ball, similar to Bryson. So that might have been a guy I wanted to choose on Saturday or Sunday if the guy started to get hot, and he's all of a sudden just DQ'd. So he was out of my lineup.
Yeah, he's had a very very tough year. He
Yeah.
missed a bunch of cuts. He got this DQ. How do you? He had one of the worst scores in the tournament. This is no. I like Matt Wolf a lot, but he did.
Did he put up an 80?
I think he might have put up an 80.
Your boy
Maybe.
Francesco put up an 80 on Sunday.
Yeah, you drafted Francesco. I can't believe you drafted. If I was to pick one guy in the tournament that to not draft, it would have been Mully.
You wanted all the Spaniards, so I gave you the
He's
Spaniards.
Italian.
Well, Europeans. Let's go with that.
Oh my god. Yeah.
All right, answer your boy 2-stroke penalty on grazing the sand, which honestly I don't know how you'd even know that unless they had a super zoom camera on that. I don't know why they did on that shot, but what do you think about that?
You have to have this on all the golfers now. If you're gonna try and enforce this bullshit, this fucking dog and pony act of being a stickler about every little thing, you better have this close camera on all the bunker shots because you're going to be enforcing a lot of penalties.
I mean, that one just seems so unintentional and such a graze. Like these guys are so particular and so perfect with all their shots. Like I'm not surprised he's that close to to the ball and into the sand. I don't think he was trying to, you know, do a Patrick Reed and flatten out his lie or anything like that. So yeah, I'm totally on board. If they're gonna call that on answer, they better have a personal cameraman on Reed all the time.
I'm always fascinated by how close they get to the sand. Like I'm always like, "Ooh, like you're getting close there, buddy." They get so fucking close to the sand. Yeah, they're going to have to enforce this rule, and they're going to be really busy with this shit because I guarantee you it happens all the time.
Yeah, I often think about how many of those penalties I would get on tour, because sometimes I'll just line up a putt and then just accidentally touch my ball, before I putt it. Like that, they don't do that,
I did that on 18 the other day.
right?
I
Like,
was like, and like you do kind of a quick look around, like it's a split second, like, oh shit, did anyone see this?
like
So
I'm not calling that on anybody. Like, it's not affecting your putt. Like, you just don't have good enough hand-eye coordination to not touch your ball, which is, probably true in my case.
most likely nerves a little bit.
Yeah, dude, I get sometimes it's just every putt, just nerves all day.
That's the worst feeling because you're just not sinking anything that day.
You know that feeling when you play with a group of four and you don't really know the other guys, or you're playing in like a charity tournament or something, and all of a sudden you get to that first putting green and you just like don't even know how far back to, you know, bring your putter, and you just either putt it like twice the distance or like half the distance.
Yeah,
I mean,
play
imagine
it
that
safe.
imagine that pressure if you're in a tournament. Like, dude, I could see myself rolling up to that first hole of the Masters. It took me 5 shots to get on the green, and then I just putt one off the green immediately. Like, that's for sure what would happen.
Yeah, it's amazing how good at putting. Not just professionals, just people that have like play golf are that are really good at
Yeah.
golf. It's just amazing how good at putters they are because they get it close every time. And there are multiple times around when I'm not even remotely close to where I envision the ball going.
Yeah, it's crazy how that works.
We got the RBC. Is there anything else? Biggest surprise? I think that's probably Zally, right?
I mean, yeah, I think
Salamander.
if you're looking at it, it's Zally. I don't think anyone expected him to be there. I also noted Phil. I just don't
Ooh.
expect Phil to make like cuts anymore, because I just feel like he's got so much going on and has made so much money. So for him to
Hmm.
finish um, tied for 21st, like went even on the weekend, made the cut, like tied with Justin Thomas, like that's a pretty good surprise for me. I just assumed he'd get cut and that was kind of it for him. So I jotted that down, but Zally's definitely for sure the biggest surprise of the weekend.
Yeah, Phil had a chance to go under par for the whole week, and then I think he missed the putt on 18.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So
That would be cool.
yeah, I know. I enjoyed watching old Phil play. John from Scottsdale, he also had a pretty good, really had the low round of the day, the last day. So to get in there, get in the mix there. So John from Scottsdale, great job. Looking ahead, we got the RBC. Do you have any final thoughts?
Let me look at our summary here at our notes. That's pretty much it. That had all the topics that I wanted to hit.
Yeah, I mean the course played really well this weekend. It was beautiful. Guys are getting eaten up. Guys are playing well. So
I mean, that's what I
really
like to see. I mean,
balanced.
the course I feel like is gettable, but then when you see the scores at -11, -7, like that's the scores that I'd like to see for the Masters. I don't think I would love it if guys are shooting, -25, -26. So I think they had it
No.
perfect.
What's the next one? Is it US Open? PGA? I think it's
Uh,
PGA
isn't the
in South
PGA
Carolina.
in June? Yeah, it's in June in South Carolina.
Yeah. But we have the RBC coming up. I think most of it's got a pretty good field. I think DJ's playing in it. A lot of the guys that missed the cut this past weekend are playing in it, which was some
Is it
big names.
is it the tournament that's this weekend?
Yeah.
So did you see that they put up a net hung up by two cranes so that Bryson DeChambeau could hit balls without hitting them onto the eighth green, and then he just dropped out of the tournament?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
that's just
Absolutely
that's
hilarious.
just people sucking off Bryson too much again.
Yeah, it's like just let him hit him.
Just keep it low. Just keep it
Keep it
low.
low. Hit
Don't go over the
stingers.
back. It's Top Golf. Don't go over the back.
Speaking
Oh,
of stingers, I posted something on my Instagram today. I was really proud of it. And you said it was like a hook. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So are we just calling it a hook stinger or a bullet hook? Because I guess it's not a draw. It's not.
yeah,
It's too hooky.
it looked a lot like to me like that ball hit the bottom of your club with topspin and just happened to hook, and you just called it a draw stinger.
Did you see where I was lined up? I was lined up directly at the trees, and I fucking pulled it right into the driving range, right at the hole.
Yeah, you were
Never know when you're gonna need that.
lined up right down the middle, and you hooked it into the net of the driving range.
I didn't do that, and it was
At
completely well
Orazo
struck.
3 at Orazo 3
At
on Instagram.
Orazo
Check
3.
that out.
What's your Instagram?
My personal Instagram is Alex E Aguirre. That one's not that exciting. Instagram, I do want to continue to plug though. Lex__cards. Business is booming. I sold an Acuna Junior card the other day. Had a great game. Boom, immediately sold.
If
Made a
I
little
may,
money
how
off that one.
much did you flip it?
I think I made like $15 on that one, but I was trying to just get rid of it.
Acuna rookie?
Well, I sold it for $235, but I had originally bought it for like $200.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why'd you want to just get rid of it?
I mean, we can go into the intricacies of this, but basically, I was just seeing a ton of that particular card on Instagram and eBay and all the places, just like tons and tons of this card. Like if I had an Acuna, autograph card that there wasn't a lot of, I would definitely hold on to it. But this one, I was kind of just waiting for an opportunity to make a little bit of money or my money back, and kind of wanted to just get rid of it.
Yeah, it's smart.
Nothing against Acuna. Love the guy. Would love to have an Acuna, autograph.
You've kind of alternated calling him Acuna and Acuna.
Yeah, I want to say Acuna, but then I also saw something where we gotta, use the Enye and say Acuna. So I think
there's a tilde over the N, so it's Enye. Yeah.
Yes. I think habit out of habit. I'm calling him Acuna, but I'm recognizing that I need to be better and call him Acuna Junior. So sorry about that to all our listeners.
I mean, Acuna Junior.
Or just Acuna.
He's just Acuna. Like the Acuna. That's the tough thing about the juniors, is that it's just tough for it to flow as something junior.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got.
Cool.
You've earned.
Have I earned a third
appearance from the righty?
Third appearance. Let's go. Well, thanks
third appearance from the righty.
Thanks for having me. I love doing these. These are great.
Yeah, I have fun too. Then I think we kept it a little shorter one.
How are we doing on time?
We're less than an hour.
Cool. Awesome.
So kept it under an hour. Didn't get on too much of a tangent. Godzilla vs. Kong.
That was our biggest tangent for sure.
Yeah. And it was, you should just watch that movie and then we could.
Oh, I have to now.
I think I'm just going to clip up some of it. I don't know how much of that I'm actually going to air, because that could just be horrible. I could just rewatch the tape. It's already hard enough just rewatching it to edit it. I'm like, God, you look weird. You got like a double chin, Orlando.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I'm in great shape. Although today, let myself go a little bit.
What do you do?
I went to In-N-Out for the first time.
Oh yeah, you texted me that. You had
over
2
a year.
doubles and animal fries. How's your bad day to be a toilet, huh? Tomorrow.
It is. Yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad enough for my toilet. But hey, I enjoyed it. It was so good. I hadn't had In-N-Out in over a year.
Dude, so far. Is that just because there isn't one near you, or are you consciously trying to limit your fast food intake?
I'm not trying to limit my fast food intake whatsoever.
Good, I like that.
Yeah. This is actually 2 consecutive days without a dog.
Is that a lot for you? I guess you probably eat a lot of dogs at the course.
Yeah. Every time I'm at the course. The dogs are so good.
Do you get a free dog when you're out there?
Yeah, free dog.
Yeah, I'd probably eat a grease missile every day too.
I absolutely inhale the pork missiles there. They're really good. But yeah, the In-N-Out, there's one In-N-Out within like a 10-mile radius. And the In-N-Out is by ASU.
Oh,
so
nice.
it's just really, really, really crowded all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Carl's Jr. that's really close. There's McDonald's. There's a lot of options. So
people have that infatuation with In-N-Out Burger. Did you want to shout out your golf apparel company before we're done here? Maybe
absolutely
put that in at some point.
Absolutely. Stripe Golf, stripegolfco.com. Kansas City brand, got the best hats available. Wide variety, rope hats, visor. I don't know if they have visors yet. They sent me one, but I'm not sure if they're on there yet. Check the website. I'm not sure if they have the Bryson beret.
We know you'd want one though.
I would love a Bryson beret Stripe Golf Co. hat.
I'd like to see you wear that as well.
I do own a one beret, which I've yet to play well in.
It's hard to focus. You got a lot on your mind when you're wearing that beret.
It's a tough mantle to carry. It really is.
People are gonna watch you when you wear that thing.
The spotlight's on you, and so far I have not risen. I mean, Right now, I'm just playing against the game of golf, just trying to get better every day, 1%.
Just trying to be the best version of you.
Exactly.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter what hat I'm wearing, but a lot of the times that has crept into my mind, like, hey, you got the beret on.
Yeah, that would definitely creep into my mind too. I'd probably take that off after a bad tee shot.
And just go no hat guy.
God, it'd be so hard. Tee shot number 1 with an audience. You gotta leave it on, but you just want to bury it in the bag if you just shank one.
God, tee shot with an audience is one of the most nerve-wracking things. That's another thing. Like, we could talk about that all day, where just imagine like a Ryder Cup first tee shot. I was nervous on my brother's bachelor party being tee shot 1. I hooked the shit out of it.
I mean, I'm nervous when I go play with 3 guys that I've played with guys that are pretty much scratch golfers, and I've seen those guys top balls off tee, pop balls off shank balls, and then they go on to shoot, in the 70s. So it's like there's something about that first tee. If you have nerves, or if you just don't warm up, or a combination of the both, it's tough. Hitting a ball at the first tee is tough.
Yeah, warm up. I need to warm up now. I'll actually be mentally fucked if I don't warm up. Not really.
Yeah, I've had actually consistently four or 5 rounds now where if I've warmed up, I usually do well, and if I don't warm up, I usually suck.
That's weird how that happens.
I know.
And if you actually warm up,
you think that wouldn't
play
matter.
better.
It's bullshit.
It's crazy that people convince themselves they play better not warming up.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Episode 6. We'll see you next week.
Episode 7.
Episode 7. Yeah. I said that earlier, right? Though 7.
Yeah, you were right earlier.
Okay, I was wrong this time. Yes, this was episode 7. Thanks again, Lex, for coming on. At Orazo on Twitter, at Orazo3 on Instagram. Lex, you already plugged your shit.
I already plugged my stuff. We're
Stripe good. Golf Co. Best golf hats in the game. Check them out. And we'll see you next week.
Cool. See you soon. Thanks, Orlando.